Let's talk about India. It's this vast, incredible country where things like mountains, deserts, and coastlines aren't just pretty scenery. Nope, they're basically the architects of culture itself. Today, we're going to dive into how the very land dictates everything from what's on your plate to the clothes you wear. So let's get started.
Just look at this. It gives you a little peek into the amazing human tapestry of India. You probably heard the country's famous motto, unity in diversity, right? Well, it's not just some nice-sounding phrase. It's a living, breathing reality. It's woven from countless different cultures and lifestyles, all thriving together.
So this brings us to our big question for today. How deep does this connection really go? How does geography actually shape everything from a region's signature dish to its traditional clothing? To figure it out, we're going on a journey across the 4 major regions of India, starting our tour out west.
Okay, our first stop is Western India, and this place is all about stunning contrasts. I mean, the landscape just shifts so dramatically, from the golden, dry deserts of Rajasthan all the way to the lush, sunny beaches of Goa.
Now, what's really fascinating here is how much the climate calls the shots. In Rajasthan, where it's super dry, the staple food is millet. It's this tough, drought-resistant grain that can get by with very little water. But then you travel down to coastal Goa, which gets tons of rain, and the diet completely flips to rice and fish. It's a perfect, real-world example of people adapting to their environment.
Let's dig into that a little. In Rajasthan, the climate just screams for hearty food like dal bati. The clothing is adapted too. You'll see men wearing the dhoti, a traditional wrapped garment, and these incredibly colorful turbans called pagadi, which offer great protection from the sun. Even the buildings respond to the environment, with flat-roofed houses that are perfect for the dry desert heat.
And check this out. It's not just the climate, it's also about what people do for a living. Because a lot of Gujaratis were historically traders who traveled really long distances, their cuisine developed these amazing durable snacks like thepla and kakra. It's literally food designed to survive a long journey. It's such a cool link between your job and what you eat.
And of course, we can't talk about Rajasthan without mentioning the world-famous Pushkar Fair. It's just this vibrant explosion of color, music, and commerce that pops up in the middle of the desert. The fair is especially known for its huge camel market, which traditionally happens under the light of the full moon. It creates a scene that is, truly unforgettable.
All right, from the western deserts, let's head north. Here, the whole landscape transforms. We're talking fertile plains fed by powerful rivers, all watched over by the Himalayas. Welcome to North India.
So this region, with states like Punjab, Haryana, and Uttar Pradesh, is basically India's breadbasket. It makes perfect sense that the staple food here is wheat, thanks to those rich, fertile plains. And just look at the linguistic diversity. Punjabi, Hindi, Urdu, Kashmiri, each one with its own deep history.
So the key thing to get here is how the landscape creates 2 totally different ways of life. Down in the plains, wheat is king. Think delicious parathas and lassi in Punjab. But then you go up into the mountains of Jammu and Kashmir, and the diet shifts to rice, meat, and fish. It's the same story with housing. You see flat roofs in the plains, but in the snowy mountains, the houses need sloping roofs to let all that snow slide off. Simple, practical, and shaped by nature. And speaking of culture, North India is home to one of the largest human gatherings on the entire planet, the Kumbh Mela. This festival in Uttar Pradesh is just an incredible spectacle of faith. It draws millions of pilgrims to the banks of the Ganges River. It's a tradition that's centuries old and on a scale that's almost impossible to wrap your head around.
Okay, leaving the northern mountains behind, we're now traveling all the way down to the tip of the subcontinent, the tropical peninsula of South India. This is a region that's all about its long coastline, lush greenery, and a warm, humid climate.
You can really feel the climate's influence here. It's everywhere. Rice is the staple, and coconut seems to find its way into almost every dish. The heat means that clothing is usually loose cotton, like the lungi, which is a simple wraparound garment that men wear. Even daily rituals are part of the culture, like the beautiful rangoli, these intricate patterns that people draw with colored powder outside their homes every single morning.
South India also has some of the most visually stunning art forms you'll ever see. I mean, just take Kathakali from Kerala. It's this incredibly powerful dance drama where stories are told not just with movement, but through these unbelievably elaborate costumes, makeup, and facial expressions. It's a tradition that's been around for hundreds of years.
All right, for our final stop, we're heading to East India. This is a region that kind of combines things we've already seen, from Himalayan foothills to huge river deltas, but it mixes them all together to create a culture that is totally unique.
It's no surprise that with states like West Bengal and Odisha having all that coastline and so many rivers, the staple food is, you guessed it, rice and fish. But the East is also super famous for its sweets. I mean, who hasn't heard of legendary treats like rasagulla and sundish? They come from this part of the country.
And the diversity just keeps going. If you go to the state of Assam, for instance, you'll find totally unique culinary traditions, like a special dish called satwa and a popular local drink called rhea. It just goes to show you that even within one region, every little corner has its own distinct flavors.
Culturally, the East is home to some incredible celebrations, like the chariot procession of Jagannath Puri in Odisha. During this world-famous festival, these enormous temple-like chariots are pulled through the streets by thousands of devotees. It's just a massive, powerful display of collective faith.
So, let's put this all together. This slide really brings it home. Look at the staple grains. Wheat just dominates the agricultural heartland of the north, while rice is king in the rainy south and east. And it goes even deeper than that. It gets down to the cooking oil. Mustard oil in the north, groundnut oil in the west, and coconut oil in the south. These aren't just random preferences, they're a direct result of what can actually be grown in each place.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's that everywhere we've looked, from the vibrant turbans of the desert to the simple cotton lungi of the tropical coast, we see this super clear connection. Geography and climate aren't just a backdrop for life. They are active forces that shape culture, tradition, and everyday life in really profound ways.
And that leaves us with one last pretty fascinating question. In a nation with so much diversity, so many languages, foods, and traditions, what is the single thread that actually ties it all together? That's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.